let me ask you this. Is sweating in Warzone Casual Battle Royale toxic behaviour? Well, yeah, kind of. But now, let me ask you this. If you're an average-ish Warzone player that likes to play with a bit of purpose and a bit of aggression, but then Call of Duty completely removes your game mode of the game, but replaces it with a casual mode, are you still being toxic playing it? Well, we're going to discuss it alongside a gameplay of my experience. Plus, we this week learned some rather startling information about the AI bots that means this casual mode may already not feel as casual as it once did, even without players like me attempting to full send everyone in the lobby. So stick around to find out the latest secret bit of info that Activision hasn't been telling you. So normally, I'm a pretty chill guy that wants to see everyone have their fun, but when I woke up and saw that solo battle royale had been replaced with casual solos, that despite my years of loyally sticking with this game through the highs and the lows, the only mode I can still find an ounce of joy in had been removed and instead replaced with this Fisher-Price sandpit rubbish.
No! God, please, no! No!
Well, I chose violence. I didn't really want to do this, but I kind of felt compelled to. Call of Duty say they're only testing this catastrophic switcheroo, so we better give them some test results to think about, haven't we? I'm going to talk through what was only my second, but also possibly my final game of casual solos, because although I never abandoned COD, and yet they're now abandoning me, seemingly, I don't really want to ruin everyone else's experience. But I did want to prove a point. And I also want to see if everything I'd been reading about the changes to the bots was true. So let's check it out. So first off, a little context for this game, right? And who I am and what I'm about. Right. I'm an okay Warzone player. I like normal BR. I play a bit competitively, a bit aggressively relative to my style. But I'm not going to be at World Series of Warzone anytime soon, okay? I've got just under a 2 KD. My highest number of kills is 14. I pretty much only play Warzone solo, so that's a bit of context to that. I'm not like getting carried by anybody. These are all solos stats. But the point is, I'm an okay player, right? I'm not the worst. I'm not the best. I'm just here now playing in a style that I don't normally get to do. I play normal BR. I'm very passive. I have like, ghost kind of loadout. Not passive, sorry, but like I've got to be guarded and defensive because it's uber sweaty. Today, in casuals, I'm just full sending it. I'm going any red dot I can find on the map. I'm going to hunt it and kill it. Okay, that's the point of this. Is to just demonstrate why this is so stupid. I mean, look at this guy. Say guy, it's not a guy, it's a bot. They're just headless chicken, like walking around in a building, no idea what's going on. How anybody finds that fun, I don't know. Here's another one. Just blasé, parachuting in. Just not a problem. What, did they land like a bullet on me? So between those two kills, I probably took like one bullet. Anyway, right, so when I get my loadout in a bit, you'll see I've got a different loadout. I've gone like full hunter mode. I've gone for the ditch the suppressor. I've gone for a muzzle to reduce the recoil on my gun to get faster kills. I've gone for tracker and bird's eye to make best use of the UAVs that I'm going to hopefully churn in round. It got a bit awkward at this bit, but somebody turns up in this building. Is there somebody in this building? And then I had a couple of minutes where I had almost like a normal BR experience. Somebody up there, isn't there? So this was only my second game of casual solos, and hopefully my final game of casual solos. I don't want to just keep playing this game mode. I'm just doing it for the fun of this video. My only other experience of casual was when it first came out. I played a bit of the quads, went solo quadding. Again, as I'm sort of suggesting by my skill level, I could never ever do solo quads. Barely do solo duos, to be fair. But I won't even bother trying with solo quads. I just get battered. But I found it to be dead easy. The bots were terrible. They were absolutely awful. Like, they just offered no challenge whatsoever. And what we'll find in today's gameplay is that there is a definite difference between how the bots are now behaving compared to when I had a couple of games early on when it launched with the quads mode. In fact, so let's go talk about it now. It's as good a time as any. Alex a French data miner dude goes into all the code of Warzone. It's a live service. It's all there. He's able to go and dig into it at any time, and as they add stuff in, what he's found is that there is different skill categories for the bots, and we're not sure whether there was that at the start and they've just upgraded and increased the difficulty of the bots, but there is now different skill categories for the bots. But more than that, there is skill-based damage for the bots. Okay, so you might have like a recruit level bot. If the game perceives you to be like a low level player, and it'll dish out like low damage. But if you're like a sweaty player or a high skill player, it might give you more difficult bots, and it'll also be able to do more damage to you in terms of that's accuracy or the actual damage of the bullets. It's not clear from the coding that is received, but the point is that you will receive skill-based damage depending on the bots that the game decides to serve you up. Okay, there's been lots of rumours about skill-based damage for a long time. I've been a bit pessimistic, not too keen to believe that that's a thing that's going on in the game. I think it's more just terrible, like internet connection, lag and all that kind of stuff. But people think it's a thing. But now it is proven, it's there, it's in the code for the bots. I thought this was
do you have bounties on bots? I assumed that was a human.
I thought that was a human player.
I gave it too much credit.
Yeah, I thought that was a human player because I didn't realise you could get bounties on bots because I thought that's like totally pointless. But of course you can get bounties on bots. Anyway, I was all for this mode for other people to play. No issues with that whatsoever. It's no skin off my nose. Doesn't affect my experience. I mean, other than if I'm going to be entitled enough to expect them to just be like the food in my lobbies. Hashtag 2 boxes. But I couldn't tell if this was an actual person here. If this was a bot, I felt like this was a very natural bot. And the way you can tell is a human player, if they've got a loadout, they'll drop their loadout perks, but bots don't have perks.
They're just going to be camping somewhere.
Yeah, they'll run away. I was sort of being a bit cautious.
Brill. Just like that, they become invincible. Hold that.
So they were level 1. That does indicate they possibly were a human. That the level number, the player level thing, seems to be a bit of a glitch that affects the human players more than the bots. But I don't know. They didn't drop a loadout, but it's early in the game. They might not have had the loadout. I just felt like they moved like a person.
Right. Kind of could do with the UAV, really. I mean, what is this?
Watch this now.
Sent to Gulag.
I don't... Thing is, I just don't find that fun. That's not fun. You know, not on any sort of repetitive basis. There's no challenge in that, is there? Like, there's no challenge in it. Each to their own, but just don't put that in my game, or at least don't make me play that. The whole point of Warzone is it's a game of skill and tactics and outsmarting and outwitting your enemy. But that doesn't work when you're playing against people like that. It's not a person. Now, I thought that was a person, but it turns out I think it was actually a bot. But I thought that was a person. It was just the movement, that advanced movement of more difficult bots now is what threw me, because I'm used to like the botty bots.
More plates in.
But now this is where they're better disguised.
Okay.
Anyway, so
Another one. I nearly got killed by that person.
there you go. And it turns out that
But they're a level 1, unless that's the player glitch.
loadout. So that's
Oh, loadout, that was a person. So it's just like the player level glitch.
yeah. So the only person who like remotely came close to killing me, turns out was actually a human player and not a bot. So for me, I just don't think bots belong in this type of game. I'd just rather play a single player game. where you're supposed to be... It's all about you versus another person. It's just not the same. It's just not the same. I don't... And, you know, you're hopefully going to see some videos from me soon on Arc Raiders, and that's got bots in it. But it's a different type of game. It works with the sort of the experience of the game. That's more about the immersion and the experience. This is about the tactics and the skill. And that only works when it's you versus a human player. It's just like the psychology of it. Even if you had really difficult bots, it's basically then you just fighting against somebody with aimbot. There's no RNG to it. Unless you literally just make it RNG, in which case it's like... You just need that human element. It's really hard to quantify. And a lot of people aren't bothered. But for me, and a lot of people like me, you just need to be playing against humans. And whether they're good humans, whether they're bad humans, I mean, yeah, if you're just stomping really low skill players all the time, that's not fun. But whether you're playing good players or bad players, it just feels different. It's been so long since I've been in a chopper, I've forgotten how to fly them, what the controls were on the keyboard.
What change seats is? Switch seats, X.
I'm just going to fly around a bit now, like looking for red dots, looking to fight people.
Nah.
Nice getting to use the compressor on the kilo instead of a suppressor, which obviously keeps you off the minimap normally, which is what I have to stick to in solos, because it's that important, in my opinion, staying off the minimap in solos. But yeah, it's nice to get to use that really beamy kilo with a compensator. Pick up a bounty. Obviously, that's going to reveal something. Buy sale, so maybe we can buy some UAVs. Get some red dots going. Instead, I'm going to go just check out where the bounty is. Chucking the smokes to confuse the aim assist. I'm just listening for the footsteps, and then ultimately they've gone outside. They're just fighting in the open. Oh, this is so boring. And I'm just feeling a bit like displeasure at the game at this point, because by now I had been playing for 15 minutes, and yeah, I've got 14 kills, so that's like matching my PB. I should be, in theory, over the moon. I should be dead happy. We're only 15 minutes in. Well, only. It's third circle, 15 minutes played. Somebody. I'm on my PB of kills. Not been to the gulag. But it's just absolutely hollow. Empty. It's an empty experience. Means nothing. No satisfaction from it.
I think quads is better. I mean, I suppose the point of this wasn't to prove how this is a good game mode.
So all I'm talking about there is, when I played quads, those couple of games of quads, like really early on, like the action was more frequent. There were people more commonly around you. I have noticed when you're at a buy station, people start sending you.
I nearly got killed by a bot.
I think that was a bot. I think it was a bot. They were just a little bit too rigid for a human, and that was like the closest I think a bot ever gets to killing me in this game.
On here.
If you spot one, let me know. If you spot like somebody I think is a human that gets me or nearly gets me, you let me know. But I think the bots don't basically get gloves on me during this game, barely. Anybody who either kills me or puts some serious damage on me, it's only human players. Anybody just like milling about in the open, generally likely to be a bot, I'd say. You can sort of spot the patterns.
Where's this guy? This guy's in my building. One at the crossroads now. Gone up again. Catch. Are you a person? Are you a person? He is. I demand to know if you're a person.
So like I said, that's a little bit of about what this sort of experiment was about. It's about finding out. It's about finding out like the skill levels of the bots now, how much they've improved, and how well they're sort of simulating human players. And so far, they're not doing a great job, but they're doing a much better job than they used to. That being said, it's still completely dull as dishwater. I mean, look at this. That bot's just stand. It's literally standing there. What's the point? But now we got to be a little bit cautious because this could be a human, so this is why I throw smoke. If that's a human, you know, and I'm just attacking them like a bot, they're just going to kill me. That's the end of my game. And that's what I found in my first game. You go gung-ho, full send it, you know, no challenge whatsoever, and then all of a sudden somebody looks a bit botty, but then they turn on you and it's a human.
Where are most people? We've got somebody over here. Hello. Oh my days.
I'd like to think I'd have been a bit better prepared for that if that had not been so clearly a bot. I mean, you know, you will get humans transiting around the map in the open from time to time, but they're not going to just not react at all to helicopters like that. I mean, certainly not people I encounter very often. If you're, you know, if you're Met 4 and you're attacking people constantly, getting 50 kills a game, then you are going to get to like the uber bots, like the 1 or 2 of them in the lobby first. But I don't get to them. They're already dead. Big game bounty.
Get the big game. Hi. I think that's a person. You a person? I don't know. I don't know if they're people or not. I mean, so I'll say that. They're not as obviously bots. They're not as obviously bots. Okay, I think that was a person. Where's this big bounty?
So they had the loadout. That was a person. I played it terribly. Like I say, I've not been playing this game at all really since season 3.5, season 3 reloaded. So I'm not at my best, and I'm only like a normal skill player at the best of time. So I'll just go back to that one. I can pretty immediately tell that this is a human. Just from the accuracy of those first shots and just the way they're behaving.
I need plates.
They're actually interested in me. Really focusing on me.
Ah, that's a problem. Not having plates is a problem. I can hear boxes. Which is good. Get out of my lobby. That was a person.
So that was indeed a person. You could just tell. I couldn't see that they had a loadout, but you could just tell that that's a human. And we're getting into the end game now. What?
I suspect there might be people.
10 other people. So I'm sort of mentally preparing myself for the fact that there are humans. As you can see here, there's a car. I don't think the bots use cars.
Somebody on my loadout. There's lots of fighting going on now. This is where I'm gonna like wish I had what do you call it? This is where I'm gonna wish I had a suppressor on. I'm just properly out in the open air. Let's get that height. Bit sad, isn't it? Actually, like, really playing for the win. Big game bounty poached. Could do with the UAV. Where's that? I don't want to go in there. Feel a bit exposed. If I'm honest. Anybody out here? You'd expect it to be. The top end of that building. Top end of that building there. One out here. Gotta get this guy. Somebody's dropped a cluster. Reload. 1v1. For a win in... Oh, he's in the car. Okay. He's in the car. He's fine. I've got to blitz him. Is that a bot? Who knows? Who knows? Oh no, it wasn't a bot because he spoke. How'd you like your casuals? Casual enough for you? Was that good fun? Did you enjoy that, did you? You made me do this, Activision. You made me do this. Don't hate the player, hate the game. I didn't want this. Earlier I mentioned about a game called Arc Raiders, which really utilises AI bots in a player versus experience game mode in the way that they're trying to achieve this with Call of Duty. I think Arc Raiders does it superbly well. And so if you're interested in finding out more about that game, then you could check out this video here, where I tell you what it's all about. 26 kills. I don't know how many of those counted.